from Worcester.
Remember, Erik Smith ran through the Swiss rounds, only one loss, which we, oddly enough, captured on camera against Green-White Constellations. First overall seed on the play, game one, throughout the entire top 8.
It's a temple of silence here from Smith. A little scry action. Top card goes to the bottom. Deidolori will draw. He'll start off with a Temple of Deceit. That top card will stay on top. Smith does have a Windswept Heath. He also has a Plains. Looks like it's going to be a Hangerback Walker for one. That'll get things started here for Erik. Deidolori with a Bile Blight. Also has a Dismal Backwater in hand. We'll figure out what land he wants to play. There's also a basic Swamp over there.
Esper Dragons is one of the matchups where Hangerback Walker is pretty close to just a pure 2-for-1. There's no clean answer in the deck, no Magma Spray, so unless Dragonlord Salumgar is involved, this requires a removal spell on the way in and a removal spell on the way out.
There is a Windswept Heath. And Smith is just going to pass the turn back, looking to charge up that Hangerback Walker. It's a 2-2 now. Now there is a basic forest. Back to Smith we're going to go. We'll see if he wants to attack with Hangerback Walker this turn or if he'd like to continue to charge it up.
Well, there's no concern about Obzon Charm in this matchup, so it's, you know, if he's got a mana left over, then it's very easy to do. I think a 2-point-a-turn clock is just not very good. So unless Smith wants to tap out for something like Anafenza, I think he's just going to hold back.
Here's Hero's Downfall. He'll charge up here to make 3/1/1s, but we also know that Deidolori does have a copy of Bile Blight in hand, so he'll have to use 2 spells to take care of everything that Hangerback Walker has done, which Smith can't be unhappy with, but Deidolori does have the answers to the card.
And Deidolori can handle a little 2-for-1 on himself action in this matchup because at least game 1, Smith is glutted with some dead cards.
And Dismal Backwater.
And Slumgar, the Drifting deck, cleans up a lot of this stuff too.
Smith will draw. Picked up a forest, flooding out a little bit here, but he'll come across with those 3 Thopters. Deidolori will file down to 18. There's a case of Koilos. Now there's Bile Blight to clean up the tokens. There's a Caves of Koilos. Now here's a Dragonlord Ochtai on a very stable board.
And Smith with no way to punish him for this play in the main deck. No copies of Elspeth Sun's Champion, so.
The best he can do is a Wingmate Rock. Yuck.
One of these players got a better deal for 5 mana than the other.
I'm inclined to agree with you. Dragonlord Ochtai, a real jerk, but a really good card. There's Foul-Tongue Invocation. Again, the thing about this Esper Dragons deck, even though it has slowed down in popularity and standard, when this deck gets ahead, it is really hard to come back.
Absolutely, and these decks have, in general, across the board, have slowed down, and so you see Smith here with no True Drop. Didn't really do a lot of anything this game, even though Deidolori had to use 2 removal spells to deal with Hangerback Walker, had the cushion to do it, and now firmly ahead.
There's a Sandstep Citadel. Now here's Wingmate Rock again. These are the saddest Wingmate Rocks I've ever seen. And it's going to get dissolved just to keep the path clear here for Dragonlord Ochtai. Deidolori will untap, he'll attack. Looks like this first game is going to be a runaway. Oftentimes it only takes 1 hit with Dragonlord Ochtai. Deidolori's gotten 2.
Dragonlord Ochtai revealing Dissolve is about as good as it gets. Hard to lose when that's happening.
Yeah. Smith will untap, take a draw. Found a copy of Sorin. That's not going to help much right now. We'll deploy the Planeswalker, however. Perhaps a vampire token is on the way. And it is. So the Tom Ross vampire token will show up, but it's unclear as to how long it will be on the battlefield. Hero's Downfall is going to take care of something. And it looks like it's just going to take care of the token.
Truck on in for 2 more turns.
Trigger yet again.
Like taking the Drifting Death here. No bad decisions here.
No, not really. Might want lands because Mike has Ugin in hand.
Yeah, you know, the world is his oyster.
It truly is. Here's a Thoughtseize. Get an idea of what Smith is working with. Ultimate Price. Nice. There's a Swamp. Pass the turn back. Smith will draw a card. There's Anafenza. The Windswept Teeth, going to cash in Sorin to make a vampire. Crux of Fate's going to kill all non-dragons, and that'll do it. So Mike Deidolori is going to win game number 1 here over Erik Smith. Esper Dragons destroys Abzan Aggro in that game. However, Smith does have a nice sideboard here for the matchup. He can get the bad cards like Ultimate Price out of his deck. He can get discard into his deck. You see 2 Duress, 2 Elspeth, 2 Herald Torment, 2 Self-Inflicted Wound, 3 Thoughtseize, 3 Tragic Arrogance, and an Ultimate Price.
So the Duresses, the Thoughtseizes, and I think Self-Inflicted Wound will come in this matchup as well to answer Dragon Lord Ojutai. I think Herald of Torment and Elspeth Sun's Champion are on the fence cards you can bring in. To me, the priorities are get a lot of the creature removal out of the deck, and I think Windmake Rock is poorly suited for this matchup. So those are the easy cuts. The 5 discard spells, the Self-Inflicted Wounds, and then if there's room, Elspeth and Herald of Torment.
We take a look at the Esper Dragon sideboard here for Deidolori. He's got an Ashiok, 2 Foul-Tongue Invocations, 2 Disdainful Strokes, 2 Drown in Sorrows, and then a lot of one-ofs there in Perilous Vault, Stratus Dancer, Dragonlord's Prerogative, Languish, Dragonlord Slumgar, Thoughtseize, Ultimate Price, and Orbs of Warding.
Keep the board clean as possible. More removal spells, 2 copies of Foul Tongue Invocation. I think you can bring in the Perilous Vault here, the Languish as well. I think Dragonlord Slumgar will come in, the Ashioks. This is pretty straightforward stuff. More removal, more sweepers.
These players will shuffle up here for game number 2. Erik Smith, number 1 overall seed, will be on the play, even though he is down a game here. Got crushed that game by Dragonlord Ojutai. We'll talk about the Battle for Zendikar pre-release that's taking place at the Star City Game Center September 26th and the 27th. It'll be here before you know it, and if you can attend, you'll get this sweet playmat.
The Battle for Zendikar playmat available for everyone who plays in the pre-release September 26th and 27th. This is only at the Roanoke office here, the Star City Games Center. So if you want to get your hands on this playmat, head over to Roanoke, Virginia, play in the Star City Games pre-release. If you're unable to make it out there, whatever playmats are left will go up on the website Monday morning. So you can head over to starcitygames.com/pre-release. You can pre-register right now. And if you want to get your hands on this playmat but can't get over to Roanoke, Virginia, make sure you're on the website Monday morning. Try to snag one of the leftovers.
On our backup match, if we have time to jump that way, we've got Stephen Hicks up a game over Michael Hedges. Jeskai Aggro, aptly named, up a game very quickly over Esper Dragons.
Although Esper Dragons got done with game 1 there in 6 minutes.
That's true. I guess they're both playing a little aggressive here this afternoon.
This is not a sit on your heels, you know, Douglas Pim's blue-white control deck that lost in the top 8 to Erik. That's a control deck. That deck cannot kill fast at all. But Esper Dragons, Dragon Lord Ojutai does not take very long to close out a game.
No, not at all. Does not mess around. Erik Smith, for him, been a good couple of years here on the Open Series. This is his 5th Open Series top 8. He's got 3 invitational top 8s with a win. At the Worcester Team Still Open in 2013, his team won. He was with Gerard Fabiano and Curtis Shue there. And then, of course, that invitational that he won in New Jersey in 2013 as well. So he's put his stamp on the Open Series and really started to make a name for himself here in Magic.
And 2 of our venues have been especially good to him, the one in New Jersey and here in Worcester, Massachusetts.
That's true. You know, some places, this is going to sound ridiculous, but some places you just win at more than others.
My resume in New Jersey tournaments is a lot better than outside of there.
Oh, yeah?
Yes.
I have a real affinity for the Minneapolis Convention Center.
Okay.
I have like a 13th at a Grand Prix, a 9th at a Grand Prix there, and I think like 11th at Nationals. And I really like downtown Minneapolis. I think it's a sweet city. And for what it's worth, I've never been there during the winter, so I don't know if I would like it as much then. But
My understanding is that it's quite cold.
yeah, so I've heard. But I don't know. I like the downtown of that city a lot. Pretty cool place.
I have been to Minneapolis a few times. I worked a show there many years ago with Shaheen Sarani in the booth. Enjoyed Minneapolis quite a bit.
Okay.
Sort of an odd couple pairing there for the commentary.
You and Shaheen?
Yeah.
Oh, I controlled aggro.
We like different things, as it turns out.
You guys are.
We had different tastes.
You guys are different people.
Yeah.
You guys can argue about things all day long.
That's true.
Shaheen, I'm curious to see what he's going to do with the new set. He does love a tap-out control deck, so maybe Dragon Lord Ochitai is right up his alley. It is a creature, though. Ugh. Not a planeswalker.
More planeswalkers to be spoiled. None of them. I think Obnixilis is going to be something Shaheen does some work with. Tap out, kill a thing.
True.
Tap out, draw some cards. That sounds.
That's very Shaheen.
That sounds like his kind of card. I mean, double black and the mana cost is not ideal, but
Well, the mana's so good, right?
It's true.
In theory, it won't even matter. You can just cast whatever you want.
people always say that, and it's never quite the case.
Turn 3 cancel, turn 4 Gideon, turn 5 Obnixilis. Let's go.
Like, cancel was the first card that came to mind.
Well, he got slowed down.
Yep.
I couldn't think of another early double blue card. There's no cheap planeswalkers, so if Jace Bellerin was available, I'm sure he'd have that. Erik Smith will be on the play here for game number 2. See if he can find an opening hand that he likes as he takes a look at 6 cards now. Looking for discard, early start, some pressure. Looks like he's happy with this hand. He's got a Temple to start things off. Top card going to stay on top. We head Deidolori's way. He's got Nurborg, and he's the one with the discard. Thoughtseize will show you a Hangerback Walker, an Anafenza, and a couple of lands here for Smith. Sandsep, Citadel, Forest, and a Temple of Silence.
I'm a little bit surprised to see Thoughtseize and Deidolori's deck after sideboard. It seems like his life total is a significant resource. Smith's deck's fairly redundant, but this is a great opportunity to Thoughtseize on the draw against a player who's already mulliganed. And if one Thoughtseize is good,
In theory, 2 is better. See you later, Anafenza. Big draw here for Smith. It'll be a Sandsep Citadel. Pass the turn back. Smith does have a Siege Rhino here. Foul-tongue Invocation. The draw there for Deidolori, but no third land. An attempted a Siege Rhino is going to resolve. Slumgar's Scorn is not here because no double blue. So even though Smith's hand got picked apart a little bit there, he does have a threat on the battlefield, though Deidolori did find a third land right on time there with that swamp.
though Smith's leftovers here are not bad as a 5th land and a Den Protector, Deidolori unable to counter as he doesn't have access to double blue. So the Siege Rhino will likely be hit with a hero's downfall. This gives an opportunity for Den Protector to resolve. I can get back Siege Rhino or Hanging Back Walker depending on where Smith's at. And the game was looking very bad for Smith, and he is right back in it.
There's a Morph. Say hello to Den Protector. Say hello to Ashiok. Elevator going up. Fleece Mainline. And a Fenza. And a Windswept Teeth have been exiled. Den Protector's on Morphing. What's returning is the question. Looks like it's just going to be a Siege Rhino.
Yeah, with the shields down on any sort of counter spell, Siege Rhino's the highest impact card here.
Don't have to worry about Disdainful Stroke either. Thoughtseize to clear the path. All right. Foul-tongue Invocation, Hero's Downfall, 2 copies of Dig Through Time and a Bile Blight.
Not a good looking hand. No dragon to pair with Foul-tongue Invocation.
I just like taking Hero's Downfall there.
I agree. Bile-Blight doesn't kill Siege Rhino, Foul-tongue Invocation doesn't gain life. The other spells require double blue. So Deidolori's hand quite soft right now.
Looks like another Bioblight was the draw. I can clear out the Den Protector, but the Siege Rhino is the problem now.
I think Deidolori needs to get a Fleece main line out on the battlefield right now.
Cash in that Ashiok.
I don't know if it's getting a whole lot better.
Going up probably won't get you very far. There's Bioblight. You know, the one nice thing about going up here is that if Siege Rhino attacks it, it's kind of a time walk.
Yes.
That's the one way you can look at it, I think. Oh, Erik Smith is going to finish off Ashiok, and he's got 2 copies of Hangerback Walker in hand.
The problem that I have with this land from Deidolori is I don't mind viewing Ashiok as a fog if your hand's really good. But his hand's not that good. Even if he draws blue mana, it's not like he's allowed to do anything that powerful.
Jace the draw. One of the poorer draws here. There is the Jace, however. A land here for Smith, I believe. Not all that exciting. Here comes the Rhino. Deidolori is going to fall down to 6. Temple going to put the top card over to the bottom. We're going to head back Deidolori's way. Temple of Enlightenment, the draw. A little late to the party.
My question was to be gained by Smith for waiting on activating the Hangerback Walker. I feel like he can just do that on his own turn. You don't want to use it at the end of the turn and have Deidolori respond and kill one of them, and then you're down to Thopter.
Salumgar will allow Jace to flip. Take through time to discard there off the activation. Though oddly enough, because there's the Temple, not a lot to do with that Jace right now. I suppose plussing it is okay.
Slow down the Siege Rhino a little bit, maybe one of the Hangerback Walkers. Minusing and downfalling the Rhino is not terrible, but then there's still the issue of you have to be the Hangerback Walkers and the leftovers. I think that the path from here is Deidolori needs to Bioblight the Hangerback Walkers and then find a sweeper.
Yep. Crux of Fate, for example. Yeah. Bioblight's going to go after Hangerback Walker here.
And this was the concern I had for Smith not main phasing. He's cost himself a Thopter.
So we'll get 3 Thopters instead of 4, it appears. Which means this will not be a lethal attack. It'll be a good attack. It'll knock Deidolori down to 1, but 1 is not none. Take a draw. Haven. Is there a Crux here?
Bioblight and Foul Tongue Invocation gets it done too.
It
he
does.
can flash back this Bioblight, get rid of the Thopters. He has a dragon to pair with Foul Tongue Invocation. He's going to 5. Smith's got no hand.
Wow, missing that activation.
Yeah, that's a huge deal.
That's a huge deal right there.
1 is not 0, and now 1's about to become 5, and Smith's empty-handed.
And there's the Foul Tongue Invocation. So now Smith's got to peel out of this.
And it's not easy for him to peel out.
And a plane certainly isn't going to help. So now Deidolori is going to untap active Jace. Salumgar in hand, Hero's Downfall, Dig Through Time. There's a lot going on here for Mike.
Yeah, this is very bad news for Smith. And I think people get into that habit. I've seen it a lot over the course of the weekend where people aren't activating Hangerback Walker on their own turn, passing with mana up. There was no question that Smith was going to activate those copies of Hangerback Walker. Costing himself the 1 Thopter was the difference between having lethal damage and going to game 3 and what we're seeing right now.
Dig Through Time resolving here for Deidolori. He'll take a look at the top 7. 2 cards will be added to the grip. He's really looking to cement his advantage. A card like Dragon Lord Ojutai could really close this game out very quickly like we saw in the first game.
There's a lot of great draws from here. Any hard counterspell, Slumgar, Scorn, or Dissolve, those are both very good. The sweepers are nice. Deidolori's life total is not high, and so the issue here is that Siege Rhino can still punk him out of the games, and every threat that Smith generates requires an immediate response or close to it. So the counter spells are at a premium right now.
All those cards are headed to the bottom. Dig through time, done resolving. Jace. It's going up. There's a Dismal Backwater up to 6 now. Every point counts.
A little bit of a cushion.
Smith will draw. It was a Plains last turn. It was probably a land again this turn. Caves of Koilos to draw here for Deidolori. Jace is moving up. Slumgar coming down. Smith will draw. Another brick. Foul-towing invocation to draw. Jace moving up to 6. Here comes Slumgar. Smith falling down to 21.
I mean, Smith is clearly flooding out. This is a painful way to go out, but this game was within reach.
Den Protector the play. Slumgar Scorn. Not going to allow that to happen. Excuse me. Deidolori will draw. Polluted Delta.
And if Deidolori feels he needs to gas back up, he can always flash back dig through time.
There's a Polluted Delta. Deidolori will fall down to 5.
And I imagine if he's cracking the Delta, that's the intent here.
They like another card in the graveyard here. Jace is falling down to 3, which means that, yeah, we're going to see dig through time here. He'll get to delve away quite a few cards, of course. He's just trying to figure out how much he wants to pay for it. It looks like he's going to delve away the entire graveyard. So it's going to take a look at the top 7 here, Will Mike. Another copy of Dig Through Time in there. There's a Dragon Lord Ojutai. Hard to pass that up. And our other match is all set. Steven Hicks with Jeskai Aggro is crushing the competition. He's not lost a game here in the elimination rounds. He's a number 3 overall seed. He's going to be playing the winner of this match. And it looks like it might be Mike Deidolori, though. Here's an Obzon charm, but that just netted Smith 2 lands. Did not help. All he can do is pass the turn back. Deidolori's going to draw. Temple of Enlightenment. We know he has a Dragon Lord Ojutai in hand. He'll attack here. Smith's going to fall down to 16. Jace going to go up to 4. Temple will allow Mike to scry. Top card going to go to the bottom. Deidolori, no interest in tapping out for Dragon Lord Ojutai just yet. Here's another Obzon charm. Smith will get to draw 2 cards. Temple of Silence, Self-Inflicted Wound. There's a Temple. Scry for Erik. Top card becomes the bottom card. Another dig through time here for Deidolori. Really looking to cement his advantage now. A card like Slumgar Scorn might just put this away.
Yep, Disdainful Stroke's close enough. You would want to be able to answer a Den Protector face down on the way down, but that's really the last piece of the puzzle that Deidolori needs to move to the finals.
Dig through time, done resolving. Deidolori will draw. He's found a Slumgar Scorn and a Dissolve as well. Here's an attack for 3. He doesn't have to be in a rush at all, by the way.
Yeah, his hand is totally stocked.
There's a Fleecemane Lion. There's Foul-Tongue Invocation. See you later. Gain 4 life, up to 9. I don't like to call it before it's over, but there's no coming back here for Eric Smith. We have seen this time and time again with Esper Dragons. They pull ahead like this, you don't come back from this. There's a Llanowar Waste, past the turn back. And the thing I like most here from Deidolori is there's no reason to cast Dragon Lord Ojutai.
Yeah, I love that play too. Conscious of Self-Inflicted Wound. Not going to help him out there.
Mike Deidolori is going to win this match here over Erik Smith, 2-0. Esper Dragon is going to take down Abzan Aggro. A little bit of an upset there, but a very well-played game for someone who did stumble and fumble on mana there.
And I think that the way that Deidolori ended up navigating that Ashiok early on in the game ended up being much better for him than the play I suggested. Fleece main line would have done nothing to manage that board of Hangerback Walkers and Siege Rhino. He went to 1 instead of 0, saved himself as much life as possible. And I think Erik Smith knows exactly what happened.